I think we'll go ahead and get started and let people come in. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here today. Welcome to Terp Startup Demo Day. I'm Lottie Byram. I'm the Venture Programs Manager at the Dingman Center for Entrepreneurship. Here at the Dingman Center, we help students launch and grow their companies. And for the past 8 weeks, these 12 ventures have been hard at work. So the teams that you'll see today have applied for the Terp Startup Accelerator back in May. Perks of participating involve a $5,000 stipend per team, a personal venture coach, access to numerous office hours with experts in the field, and 8 weeks of formative venture training workshops from speakers ranging from recent Dingman alumni to seasoned entrepreneurs and investors. Normally, participation also includes co-working space at the WeWork in College Park, but due to the pandemic, this year's program was our first one conducted entirely 100% online. Actually worked really, really well. So thank you to all of our supporters, our advisors, our team coaches, and our featured speakers for making the time out of your busy schedules this summer to accelerate these teams. Thank you to Dean Agarwal of the Smith School, who's joining us today as well. And of course, thanks to these incredible entrepreneurs who, in the face of tumultuous times, are not giving up the hustle. We're really, really proud of you all. And I will miss seeing your faces every week, so you have to come back and visit me. Without further ado, let's get started. How this works is that each venture has 10 minutes to present their pitch, some key takeaways from the accelerator, and some extra grab bag items from their portfolio or materials that they'd like to share with you today. After the first 6 teams have presented, we'll break into 2 breakout rooms for Q&A. So I encourage you to jot down your questions somewhere on a piece of paper or on a side screen so you can have them for the Q&A sessions in the breakout rooms. We will not pause in between each one, we'll just do the first 6 presentations. After that, we'll break for a short lunch break and come back in the afternoon for the second set of 6 teams. Feel free to have your video on throughout the presentation so you can cheer them and smile for them and do the jazz hands as need be, and use the Zoom reaction buttons to clap for them as they finish. But do please remain muted throughout until you get into the breakout rooms. All right, and first up on our schedule for today is Wanderlust Wardrobe. The floor is yours, Lucy.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, before I hop in, is everyone all good? Great. Hi, my name is Lucy, and I am the founder of Wanderlust Wardrobe. We are a personal styling service that makes fashion fit seamlessly into a person's lifestyle. Before I go on, I want you to think of a time where maybe you had an event or it was just a normal day at work and you opened your closet, which, may I add, is probably full of clothes, and thought to yourself, I have nothing to wear. Well, I guarantee all of us have probably had a moment like that at some point in our life. The only issue is how the fashion industry deals with this. They tell you to buy more clothes and always have the latest trend or just look a certain way. This leads to us buying a bunch of clothes that look great on their own, but aren't exactly very cohesive with one another, leading to that I have nothing to wear feeling. I wanted to change that. By combining both mindfully shopping for new pieces with items that you already have, Wanderlust Wardrobe looks to marry the two seamlessly. This way, you're creating a style, something that you can mix and match and have be versatile, instead of just a bunch of pieces that don't really go. And there is a huge market for this. My target market is women aged 18 to 44 that have a household income of $50,000 a year. There are 34 million women in the United States who fit this description. But due to the versatility of my business model, I can also access multiple other markets, including the 100 million women of all ages making $50,000 a year or more, or just the 165 million women in the United States. Let's talk about the competition. Services like Stitch Fix send an outfit to your house every single month. The only issue with that is the outfit has no history behind it. It's a new outfit every single month, and it doesn't take into account what you already have. Also, based on my market research, I've been told by the women who use Stitch Fix and Trunk Club that it feels a little bit corporate and not as personalized as they'd like it to be. Then there's high-end styling, which can be $250 an hour. That's crazy for the average person to try and afford, and I believe that everyone deserves to have that confidence in their outfit. Lastly, text-based platforms such as Tailor are very affordable, but the issue is, due to the easy application process, it doesn't have the same expertise as working with a one-on-one stylist would have. At Wanderlust Wardrobe, we always check off the box for every single person we work with. Expertise, affordability, and of course, personalization and customization due to the client's lifestyle are at the forefront of our core values. So how does it work? First, there's a Zoom call consultation with every new client. Personally, I don't think anyone should style you without talking to you first and learning the subtleties of your personality and lifestyle. Next, together we'll create a mood board and gain inspiration and a roadmap for how you're going to be styled and what your style journey is going to look like. Next, due to the shared Google space, my clients are able to also interact with me. This way they can upload what they already have to their virtual closet. This is pivotal for making sure I have access to what they already have. So step 4, when I make them a monthly outfit and give them advice, I'm using both new pieces and pieces that they already have. So there's no redundancy and they're not spending more than they need to. Let's talk about the revenue model. In terms of pricing, it's $35 a month for the first 20 adopters. Then it's $50 a month for the next 50 and $75 a month in perpetuity. I made it this way so that I could grow naturally, but also to reward the early adopters for investing in themselves. On top of this base price, I offer a tremendous amount of support and resources if they would like to continue working with me. These include Zoom calls, texts, and mini sessions that they can purchase outside of their subscription. The base subscription is incredibly affordable for a reason. I want to make sure everyone has access and only pays for what they need. So how did I get here? I started out as a one-on-one mall stylist, but then when the coronavirus hit, I was forced to pivot and go online. I moved to video calls and texting, but quickly realized that because everyone now is online shopping instead of at the mall, a lot of people were shopping alone at 2 a.m. in their pajamas and really wanted some help. This is why I developed the subscription service, just so I can send them curated pieces that they really felt good about. Also, in this time, it's more important than ever that we keep sustainability at the forefront of our mind. There's lots of talk about sustainable fashion, but my focus is on sustainable behavior. I truly believe people should only purchase mindfully and pieces that they actually need and love. In terms of my financials, I've been in business for 1 full year. In this past year, I've made $3,400 year to date. In terms of my 3-year projections, they were made based on the assumption that I would get 5 new members into the subscription service each month. As you can see, because of the graduated model for the subscription going up in price, by year 4, I would have made $112,650 in just that year. And I want to end a little bit about me. I worked retail for 6 years and saw hundreds of women just needing a little extra support when they were shopping. After studying fashion business in Milan and then studying marketing at the University of Maryland, I knew I had to do something about this. I saw firsthand what the power of a great outfit can do for people and wanted to give it to as many women as possible. Thank you for listening. Cool. So I'm just gonna really quickly go, let me just stop my personal timer. I'm gonna really quickly just kind of demonstrate a few of the aspects of my business outside of my pitch. So first, I want to show you guys and give you an insider look on what these slides do look like. So as you can see, when someone enters the monthly wardrobe subscription, they're given a personalized welcome slide. And they can see all of the different types of sessions that they'll have access to in working with me. So you can see that there's kind of something for everyone. There's people that just want to text me while they're getting ready and shuffling around their house. And then there's people that like to sit down with me for an hour and really like show me everything in their closet and have a full closet clean out. And then I make it super easy for them to book. This book a session link goes straight to my calendar so they can immediately get that session that they need. But I've learned through my clients that some of them are getting ready for a girls' night out and it's 3 hours away and they really need help immediately. So I actually offer instant styling sessions, and all they have to do is message me over Facebook, and then I'll let them know if I'm available. And then I have a couple of slides for referrals. And referrals are very important to my business just because word of mouth is how I get most of my clients. And I want to reward the people that bring me new people. So when they refer a friend, they get a month on me completely free, and all they have to do is just mention their name. This way I'm making sure I'm growing a community of women who are just ready to feel great about themselves. This is the mood board slide that I was talking about in my pitch. Essentially, they would put items from their Pinterest, and I would also put items that I think would be great, and it's a roadmap. So we know where we're going, and we make sure we're always creating a style as opposed to just a bunch of pieces that kind of go together. And then lastly is that virtual closet, so that they can show me what they already have. And the last thing I just want to show you guys is the website. This is the page for the monthly wardrobe. One big pillar of mine is the fact that I really want to be inclusive of all women in my subscription model. I think in fashion, it's definitely getting better, but I always think we can continue to improve. So I'm always making sure that pricing is affordable and that photos encompass all different types of women. And I'm gonna stop sharing for a moment, and I'm just gonna talk quickly about what I've learned about both my venture and who I am as a person. So 5 things that I've kind of learned through these past 2 months. I mean, first of all, they've flown by. But the first one is that pivots are very real. It's a word that I think I've heard worn out so many times. People told me, like, you're gonna have to pivot. And that couldn't be more of the word of the month. I had a subscription model before called the Style Elites, where people would just be able to text me. And I tested it in the market, and it just completely flopped. And that's kind of how I learned that not everything's gonna work, and especially in times like these when everything's kind of flipped on their head, a lot's gonna have to get scrapped and redone, and that's totally fine. The second thing moving into that is that market research is vital. I've always been the kind of person that trusted my intuition, and I'm learning that intuition is definitely not enough. In fact, it should only be the starting point. After doing market research, I noticed that my offers were much more successful, and I was offering to the market what they actually wanted as opposed to what I perceived they wanted. Then moving on, I found that marketing is quite difficult and really is an art. As a marketing major, I thought that I knew everything there was to know about marketing and that that'd be the strongest part of my business, but quickly learned that it's really difficult to make sure you're always targeting the exact people you want, especially when doing Facebook ads. The next thing I learned was a more concrete skill. In terms of my financial model, that was pivotal in my decision to do a subscription-based service. Because I'm an entrepreneur and I'm on my own here, I needed to make sure I'd have a stable income, and that was very important for me to make sure I could have that. Lastly, on a more personal note, I learned that sometimes I have a hard time asking for help. I think going at it on my own and being on my own every single day, we developed this idea that we have to do everything on our own, and that couldn't be further from the truth. I think it's important that I always recognize my strengths and weaknesses, and I'm not afraid to ask for help or outsource jobs that I'm frankly just not very good at. So those are the 5 things that I learned, and I'm forever grateful for this experience.
Thank you so much, Lucy. That was a lovely presentation. We were glad that you could join us, and also nice job going first. It's always a little bit of a scary role. Well done. All right, next up, we have Door Robotics.
Hey guys, I'm Josh. I'm gonna share my screen. Great. So hi everyone, my name is Josh Armias. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Door Robotics. We're making an indoor drone for real estate. So let's say you've just graduated or your lease is ending up soon and you're looking to find a new place to move into. You go to these really nice pictures, and what you might not notice is that in every single one of these pictures for a new home that you're looking at, there's no one actually in the shot. Now, how is that done? It's by creating a virtual tour. So real estate photographers have to take a tripod mounted camera, place it into a room, leave the room to click and capture on their phone, and then return back to the room to reposition the tripod into another room over and over and over until the entire property is done. This is roughly a 2.5-hour process, and all of the software and pictures that have been taken from that property have to be uploaded into a third-party software service that combines all the photos into this one software suite. So our solution to the difficulties of creating this is an indoor autonomous drone to create virtual tours. So our drone uses AI and sensors like optical flow and LiDAR to autonomously navigate from each room inside of the property, taking pictures along the way. Now this makes the process of making virtual tours significantly faster and easier and pricing less. Our drone also has GPS functionality and capability to fly outdoors. So the real estate photographer can get those super scenic outdoor above the house shot and then fly into the front door and take shots on the inside. This makes it significantly easier to make 360 videos because of our built-in 360-degree camera. So the marketplace right now is pretty much divided into two main tiers. There's the companies that do the virtual tours that are tripod-based mounted cameras, and then there are drones with cameras built in that can fly but aren't designed for real estate. So Matterport, which is the camera that was in the first slide with the tripod, it's not mobile, it requires movement and cannot navigate itself indoors, but has 360 video capability and virtual tour software capability. Now the other products on the market that are similar are drones in general. So DJI and Parrot are two of the biggest consumer drone companies, but they have no 360 video capability nor have any ability to create any kind of virtual tours. So that's where we come in. We've combined the best of both worlds. Our drone can fly indoors, take the videos, and fly outdoors, making it 10 times easier, 2 times cheaper to make these beautiful images. So the FAA has announced that there's over 122,000 commercial drone pilots, and totaling with all the hobbyists, there's over 1 million people just in the US who are drone hobbyists who signed up with the FAA to use their drone. So that gives us an identifiable market to target as well as the real estate photographers. So the way we've identified the folks that are going to be using this product the most is just on LinkedIn. So there's 21 million in terms of value of real estate photographers just on the East Coast. And these are people who are spending $3,000 to $4,000 on equipment like this. And then there's over 200,000 people in the US, all spending over $1,000, bringing that market size to over 100. And we're going to be doing other commercial uses like inspection, tourism, as well as consumer use cases to get to the commercial drone market of $13 billion. Kickstarter and revenue streams. So our go-to-market strategy is a Kickstarter. We're going to be launching in September of 2020, where we expect to do roughly $250,000. We got that number from our pre-sales that we're doing now, where we're talking to people, calling up real estate photographers. We roughly have $65,000 in signed agreements, and we can convert that when we launch. We're also going to be setting up a software service where we're going to be charging on a monthly basis, allowing real estate photographers to stage certain products in their tour, change their tour around, and move it and do any kind of editing they'd like. That's going to be between $50 a month and $150 a month. We're also doing retail placement, wholesale, and distribution strategies to get our product out to the market. So here's a quick sample of our software editing suite. As you can see, it's very simple. You click through, you combine clips, you add them. It allows it to be significantly easier than Adobe and other software suites that are kind of broad. This is more specifically designed for 360 photography and videos. Where we are now, we've raised $50,000 in the pre-seed capital in September of 2019. We launched in Pitch Dingman. We did Terp Startup, planning on launching September of this year and delivering products in January of next year. And by June, we're going to begin doing our seed round. So our revenue and cost of goods, as you can see, our revenue grows while our cost of goods doesn't grow as quickly. This is because our revenue is going to come from software as well as the hardware. So we're not forced to sticking to selling a product for every dollar that we make. So this is the team. I'm Josh Myers. I have 3.5 years of experience in drone technology. I was the president of Mobile App Developers Club, so I've got software background. Patrick Crow, he's got 4.5 years in startup development, started his own company on Kickstarter. And Vincent Hagen, who's our media and marketing director. So that's my pitch, and now I'm going to show you some parts of our portfolio. So the first thing I'm going to show you is a real estate video that we took in a mansion in Potomac. This was on Wednesday. where we went to a home that's a $1.7 million home. As you can see here, our drone can start from the outside, fly down up to the front door, and give you that perfect scenic shot. So it is kind of a time-consuming process for the drone to take the actual tour. So we've sped up the video into a certain frame rate. So that way you can see how the drone navigates, finds a room, flies in, turns around, captures, and then flies to the next room. This is significantly easier than, say, carrying a camera and walking it all around, or using tripods and placing it in each room. So this system is designed to also work on stairwells. At this point, this stairwell is kind of a use case specific tool, so we had to kind of hard code it in, so it kind of looks like it's jumping around a bit. However, it still has the capability to find the rooms, fly in, and take photos. Another part of our portfolio that I'd love to share with you guys is our prototype. So our prototype currently has not been fully designed for manufacturing and is purely a working prototype. As you can see here, there's kind of wires and electronics sticking around, but this is our prototype flying in the Potomac mansion that I mentioned in the first part of the video. This video was actually taken from our Door Robotics Dingman Center Instagram takeover. So if you were following Dingman Center by any chance, or following Door Robotics, you'll see the whole behind the scenes of how we got into the mansion, how we took videos, and how many drones. So during this video, I was with my co-founder, Vincent, and he kind of thought the drone wasn't supposed to land on the concrete. And so he kind of started yelling at me, and I kind of gave him a little bit of a heart attack, telling him that, Josh, you gotta land in the grass. You gotta land in the grass. And I called him out. So as you can tell, it landed okay. That's our prototype, and that's where we're at. So some of the things that I've learned in this 8-week process of Terp startup is onboarding and hiring people. So just this summer, we've actually hired 7 different people, 4 people doing sales and 3 people doing tech and hardware development. And I've learned the process of getting them antiquated, making sure them being successful also relates to you, to the person who's hiring them being successful. And it's taught me how to be involved with people as they learn how to do things, how to spend time with them. And what we did in onboarding is literally set up Zoom calls 3 days in a row for 2 hours, where I'd walk them through the entire process from start to finish of closing a pre-sale, and then the entire process from start to finish of building that drone that you saw in the video. Another thing that we learned how to do and optimize during this 8-week process to startup is actually closing sales with real estate photographers. So a lot of these Kickstarters are successful before they launch by having people sign up and plan to buy before they launch, having them sign documents and write agreements. So what we've done is gone to real estate photographers and asked them, hey, would this make your life easier? Yes, no, great. Then if it is, then we'd love to have you down as a purchase agreement and sign up on our website. We already have about 15 to 20 people who do that. And so that correlates to about 65,000 in pre-sales. Also through Terp Startup, I've learned how to leverage mentors and leverage alumni, people who are willing to help, and building the final product after doing numerous prototypes, and then optimizing how to pitch online. That's one of the biggest things I learned is in Terp Startup, since this whole thing was virtual, especially now that being stay from home, I've learned how to set up lighting, how to do sound, how to have screen recording and camera setup. So there's a lot of learning during Terp Startup. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Josh. Awesome presentation. So next up, we have opalescent nails.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dwayne Oladimeji Stevens, and I am the CEO and owner of Opalescent Nails. First, I'd like you all to think to a time when you weren't feeling at your best. How did you feel, and what made you feel that way? And for many of you, you probably thought to a time when you weren't feeling very confident in yourself. For many people, confidence stems from how your appearance is and how others may see you. And now, I'd like you to think to a time when you looked like your best self. You most likely felt more confident in yourself, which is natural when you're at your best. You almost feel like you can conquer the world. For many women, including me, having my nails done is an immediate confidence boost. It's a great way to start feeling put together, and I know that I can be the queen that I'm about to be. But if you're also like me, a college student on a college budget with little time, the ability to pamper yourself is few and far between. But traditional nail salons are a very expensive recurring expense. On top of the issue of finding the right nail salon with the right customer service, I'm not even sure of the work being put in to hygienic methods. But what if I told you there was a way that you could look your best, save your time, money, and most importantly, boost your confidence? Enter your solution, Opalescent Nails. Opalescent Nails is a custom handmade press-on nail company for the booked, the busy, and the bougie. The idea behind Opalescent Nails came about in October, with pre-sales being done in February to gain interest, and our official launch was on April 17, 2020. Our press-on nails and designs do the talking for us. We hand create custom-made press-on nails that use the same quality products as traditional nail salons. The difference? You're making a cost-effective investment. But what does that mean? Well, your press-on set can be reused as many times as you would like with proper nail care. Now, imagine getting a beautiful manicure gel or acrylic set, which you likely paid $46 for. Now, 2 weeks later, you have to decide between getting a fill-in for $30 or deciding to change out the design completely, and now you're stuck paying another $46. You've now just spent between $76 and $92 over the course of 3 weeks on just your nails. But with that same money, starting from left to right, you can actually buy a single color set for that job interview you're going to nail, our gorgeous kitty cat set for a girls' night out, our top selling set, You Give Me Butterflies, for your weekend brunch, and our Miss Girl set for that first day at your new job. Our business model is a simple direct-to-customer model. With no middleman or third party, we deal directly with our customers at all times. We currently sell press-on nails, and extra nail supplies that are already found in our application sets. Our nail prices vary by the design and how many nails people decide to order. By going through our website, a customer selects their desired design or single color, then their desired shape, finish, size, and set. If they don't know their size, they can always have the option of choosing an I Want It All set, which includes 2 of every nail size, so you receive 20 nails total. Now, I know many of you are probably thinking, press-ons? Why would I want to use those? And why is right now the best time for the press-on nail market? Well, first, COVID-19 has provided a unique opportunity for the nail industry. Many people aren't able to get their nails done because nail salons aren't open, so they don't have a lot of options. And many of them have already started to get interested in the idea of press-ons. And next, press-ons have upgraded a lot since we were younger. They're no longer the flimsy or cheap-looking tabs that they used to be. And then there's never a wrong time to start saving your time and money. In fact, the market is way larger than it seems for press-ons. Starting with our total addressable market being the estimated market of US cosmetics at $16.7 billion, we now have our serviceable and addressable market of $3.7 billion. And then our target clients are now within our serviceable and obtainable market, which are female social media users between the ages of 15 to 24. We targeted social media users because our marketing strategy utilizes social media in every aspect, and that's totaled at about $756 million. And within this segment is their target customer, the person who's beginning to come into their identity. They have an image in their head of who they want to be, and they're trying to work to get to that point. But what better way to start than with your appearance? Now, of course, there is competition in this market. Our main competition comprises of traditional nail salons, obviously, but in the press-on nail scene, our competitors are Kiss Cosmetics, Marmalade, and Static Nails. Aside from other competitors being indie press-on nail businesses, these are big name manufacturers that are not on our level. They can't compete with us because none of them are Black women owned that have custom multi-choice nails that are reusable and offered at a reasonable price point. Speaking of our price point, we're projected to earn almost $5,000 in our first year of profits, with our profits doubling every year with a 20% increase in prices. Even though we've been in business for 3 months, we've had almost $600 in sales with only 25 sales. And this does include the launching of a new product and additional revenue stream that is in the works, nail decals. Now, of course, the team is just a one-woman show for now. Once again, my name is Doyisola Oladimeji Stevens. I'm the CEO, owner, and nail artist behind Opalescent Nails. I'm a recent grad of the University of Maryland and a management consulting analyst. I'd like to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to listen, and I hope that you'll be able to keep in touch and follow us on our various social media platforms, and also take a look at our website when you decide to order your dream set. In fact, if you use that QR code right now, it'll take you to our website, Instagram, and Facebook. All right, okay. And now I'd actually just like to take a little bit of time to talk about my Terp startup experience. If you asked me at the beginning of March if I was going to apply, I would have said no. But life has a funny way of working itself out. I didn't think I would be doing this program because I expected to be traveling around the world with money I did not have. I don't know how I was going to get it, but I was going to get it eventually. But nevertheless, I'm so grateful to have been able to participate in this experience. I've learned so many skills that I can only apply professionally in a corporate setting, but also in the entrepreneurial field. I was able to lay down a foundation for a business that will one day grow to be a powerhouse. So this summer, I actually started making nail decals. Here's some pictures of some decals I've been working on. And this is actually what they look like in person. We are working on new decals as well, like freeform ones that don't require you to put them on the whole entire nail, but just maybe like, it's kind of like a sticker that you would just put on your nail. I've loved making them. The process was a little bit hard at first, and then I decided, okay, my time is worth a little bit more money, and I can just pay someone to actually give me the template and then take out the hard work. Next, I actually learned that your business is more or less 75% of what you put into it and 25% of what others give to you. You can put in as much work as you want, but if nobody wants your product, it won't really matter. So you have to then rely on others as well. Third, I learned to track everything, especially your growth. I've always been tracking numbers, always seeing like, how much am I spending? How much am I earning? But I never really started looking at like, how much am I growing on my Instagram? How many sets am I doing? How many, or how much time is it taking for me to do a design that I created like a month ago? You're going to grow in many different ways, and it's not just financially, but also in terms of your reach and the people that you impact. And then fourth, I learned to give myself grace. You're not going to know everything, and that's okay. And even when you think you do, you still don't. And you're just going to have to learn that you can't beat yourself up over every single thing that you can't keep track of. Things are constantly changing, clearly, and you're not going to be able to predict it, especially a whole financial projection. Everything I just created, most likely going to be wrong in 2 months, but it's okay. You just have to learn to be adaptable and flexible and just grow. And lastly, I learned to take a leap. It's very scary to venture into something that's new and can seem sort of set up against you, especially for me being a young Black woman who started a company with not a whole lot of money. I've had a lot of people who've helped me boost up my company as well, whether it just be like sharing a picture that I posted or maybe even giving me a little bit of investment. Many businesses are bound to fail, but even in a failure, there's still something that can be gained that can help put you on the road towards success. Right. I'll just go back to my thing. Right, so I'd like to thank you so much for listening to me, and I hope you all have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, Joya. It was an excellent presentation. So glad that you could be here this summer. So next we have Mohil from OcuClips, but while we're letting him get set up, since we're about halfway through the morning's presentations, everybody take a nice stretch. We've been doing this a lot this summer because Zoom, you sit down a lot. So in the air, to the side. Anything you can do, got to get that spine stretched out a little bit. Get some blood flowing. Always encouraged. I believe strongly in stretch breaks. And Mohel, whenever you're ready, you are good to go.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mohil. It's such a pleasure to be here, and I hope everyone's having a great morning. All right, so let's get started. So my name is Mohil Gupta, and I'm founder of OcuClips. So for glasses wearers, when glasses wearers wear headgear, any type of headgear, headphones, helmets, outerwear, we experience an extreme discomfort. And I'm sure many of you in the audience have experienced this yourselves as glasses wearers. And this problem is exactly what my product OcuClips solves. So what exactly happens when a glasses wearer wears headphones? You put on your headphones, And what happens is your ear digs into the side of your frames, causing sharp pain in the back of your ear, and it digs into the side of your head. And this gets worse for prolonged periods of time. So what are the current solutions for this problem right now? One, you can get thinner glasses frames to lower the surface area of the pressure being exerted from your frames on your glasses. But this is very ineffective and it can be very expensive. You could resort to wearing earbuds. You could buy a Turtle Beach Eli Pro gaming headset, which has a glasses relief system. This product is priced at $250, and its glasses relief system is very ineffective and poses many disadvantages. The primary one being a significant deterioration in sound quality. You could also stretch out your headphones to reduce the clamping force of your headphones, but this would damage your headphones and be ineffective. And lastly, you could cut gaps into your headphones. Very ineffective, but this would permanently damage your headphones. So what's my solution? For the past 2 years, I've designed 20 different designs and concepts, hundreds of iterations to find out this and build this amazing product, which is a clip-on cushion adjustable to all glasses frames made out of a medical memory foam conforming material that incorporates a non-slip technology and a moisture wicking capability, so it remains comfortable for hours on end when you're sweating while you're wearing your glasses and headphones or helmets. Now, if we were going to talk about this product, it's essentially, for the market, it's anyone who has glasses and wears headgear. So pilots, musicians, gamers, gun range shooters, hijab wearers, army, military. I can keep going on and on. So the total addressable market for this product, when the price point is $20, is $16.8 billion. But if we were going to look at who specifically would need this product, it would be gamers, because there's a high correlation of gamers, people who game, and people who have glasses. So the serviceable, addressable market, all the gamers in the world with glasses, is $6.5 billion. And if you were just looking at the United States, American gamers with glasses is $1.2 billion. Now, I want to dive a little bit more into the serviceable, obtainable market. I wanted to find out how big of a problem is this actually for gamers. So I did multiple studies over and over again. And one of the studies I did was I went to gaming forums and I essentially asked the question, A, do you wear glasses? And B, do you get pain from wearing headphones? 35% of the 300 people that I surveyed said they had the issue. And there's 164 million gamers in the United States alone. So for math's sake, let's take a third of 164 million, call it 50 million. Let's take 1% of that, that's 500,000 units sold. Times $20 per product is 10 million in revenue. If we're able to reach just 1% of the American gamer market that say they have the problem, not taking account of any of the other dozen markets or any of the other countries in the world, we reach a $10 million revenue evaluation. Now, as far as our marketing and sales strategy, we're going to have our landing page up in the next week or so, and we're going to use traditional online paid advertising, search engine optimization and marketing and methods, as well as reaching out to blogs and building relationships with influencers. And then once we queue up a few thousand emails on our landing page, we're going to start a Kickstarter campaign for a goal of $30,000, but we really believe we can blow it out of the park. With our Kickstarter campaign, we're going to primarily use creative influencer marketing strategies, creating authentic content, documenting our journey, and working with publications. Now, as far as financials, this product, it only costs $1 to $2 to manufacture, but it would sell for $20. So these projections are based off of a normal glasses accessory product, but we believe as a team, these are severely under-projected and that we could receive and get a revenue of $500,000 to $1 million just within the first year. Thank you so much for this presentation. My name is Moho Gupta. I have an analytical background with a master's in science and information systems from the Smith School that I graduated from in December. I have about 5 years experience doing product development initiatives in the digital and physical specialty consumer product space, and as well as developing and implementing usability studies and marketing initiatives. My number 2, her name is Anuya. She's a data analyst and hackathon evangelist, and she is graduating her Bachelor of Science at the end of this semester. We're also onboarding a team of incredibly passionate and driven interns that we intend to break on into part-time and full-time roles in the coming months. Thank you so much. Now, what I would love to do is I'd love to describe the design of this product. Okay, so this is a handmade prototype. It's missing a lot of different features. This is a patent pending product. What's going to happen is there is ultra thin Velcro over here and over here. The thinnest Velcro in the world, only from one manufacturer. There would be very flexible material down the middle like this. It'd be Dyson, and that's also the only one in the world. You can't see it on this product, but there would be grippy materials right here and right here. And essentially what you would do is you take off your glasses and you put them right above your product like this and seal up the attachment. Now, that anti-slip material, notice that anti-slip material was a little thicker than the average glasses frame. Because you wrap it around, it's at the bottom, but it's also a little bit on the sides, and it clasps around the glasses. Now with that ultra thin Velcro, it seals up the attachment. No matter how thin or how thick the frames are, it seals up until it hits the glasses frame, and it pushes the frame against the anti-slip material, having the capability being it's impossible to take out. The last feature is the 2mm grippable cushions that are at the end, so you could dig in your fingers and easily take your product off. The last component is these little flaps. So when you put this product on, just like that, extremely easy. You put this on and you put on headphones, you would be able to see the logo that would be shown on this product right here. Now, in terms of what I've learned in this fabulous accelerator, I've learned 3 things. Number 1, I've learned that before I used to think that business strategy and what people have done in the past is what we should always do. I've really learned that creativity, especially within a marketing focus, and being creative throughout the entire product development and startup experience is incredibly important. Number 2, I believe that, and what I found is communicating with people from all different backgrounds will allow you to get incredible feedback that will propel your product development in many areas. And I truly am now a big proponent of communicating, collaborating, getting feedback from a wide variety of people with different backgrounds. And the last thing that I've learned is I've really learned to believe in my own capability, because initially I was reaching out to PR firms and publications and things like that for people to essentially handle my marketing. And I believe within today's day and age, with the growth hacker marketing mindset, entrepreneurs themselves can authentically market their business in a way better format than any PR firms can. Thank you very much, and I'm open to any questions.
Thanks, Mohil. We'll save the questions for the Q&A room later. Awesome job. Next up, we have Viraj and Sanket of Vitalize.
Hey everyone, my name is Sanket. And I'm Viraj, and we are Team Vitalize. So I want to begin by sharing a story about Dr. Robertson, a past mentor of mine. After 12 years of training, he now works 70 hours per week and often suffers from stress, anxiety, and depersonalization. But he continues to push on. Why? Because that's the culture in medicine. He often has no time for wellness activities during the day and is hesitant to pursue them in the first place because of stigma. But the scariest part is that Dr. Robertson isn't alone. In fact, 42% of clinicians in the United States report symptoms of burnout. And now with COVID, that number has undoubtedly increased. And this matters for healthcare organizations, as burnout results in poor clinician productivity, increased risk for medical errors, poor patient care, and increased costs for hospitals.
Hey Viraj, sorry to interrupt, it's Valeria. There is a strong echo in your line. I really want to hear you, but just difficult. I don't know if it's something you can do to fix that.
Oh, why don't we let we're going to switch the order a little bit. Let's have Sweets by Caroline go ahead and go, and Viraj and Sanket, you can have another couple minutes to get resettled. No worries, this happens. Caroline, would you be ready to go ahead and jump forward? All right. The floor is yours.
Ever since I was a little girl, I've always loved to bake, and my earliest memory of baking was when my mom and I were baking a cake, and she had given me the eggs to hold. And I was so afraid of dropping them that I held them so tightly, and you can probably imagine what happened next. Yeah, it splattered all over me, all over the kitchen. It was a total disaster. Sorry, Mom. Since then, my love for baking has evolved from just being a hobby to wanting to share it with the people around me, and that was when I decided to turn my passion into a business. And that's how Sweets by Caroline was born. Hi, my name is Caroline. I'm the owner and baker of Sweets by Caroline, and we are a baking business that specializes in custom gluten-free French macarons, as well as boutique-styled cakes that are perfect for engagements, weddings, parties, and other events. So, what exactly are macarons? Many people mistaken French macarons, as the French would say it, for a macaroon. A macaron is an almond-based sandwich cookie and is also known as the impossible cookie because they are very delicate and finicky to make, while a macaroon is a coconut-based cookie. So many people have told me that they've tried to make macarons and were unsuccessful, and that motivated me to create the perfect, delicious, and crispy cookie that everyone can enjoy. So why macarons? Well, over 1% of the US population suffers from celiac disease, which is a gluten intolerance to ingredients like flour, which is a common ingredient in a majority of baked goods. That's over 3.3 million individuals who have to be cautious of what desserts they can and can't eat. Could you imagine a birthday without desserts? I know I can't, and that's why macarons are the answer. As the number of individuals suffering from gluten intolerance and the benefits of gluten-free dieting increases, the demand for gluten-free baked goods are skyrocketing. A study shows that bakery products are expected to witness the fastest compound annual growth rate of 10% through the years of 2016 and 2027. We are well aware of this, and that is why at Sweets by Caroline, we want everyone to feel included and not have to worry about what they can and can't eat. We offer over a dozen flavors that customers can choose from, such as unique flavors like s'mores and fruity pebbles, and seasonal flavors like peppermint and cinnamon roll. Each week, a macaron set is listed on our website that can be ordered for curbside pickup or to be shipped the following week. We even do flash sales for character macarons exclusively for our Instagram and Facebook followers. However, you can also contact us for custom orders. So how exactly do we reach all of these people? Well, we first started out on Instagram and now have over 1.5 thousand followers. There's the saying that people eat with their eyes first, and that really spoke to us not only to make our desserts delicious, but also to make them visually beautiful for that perfect Instagram moment. This then led us to launching our website in 2018, which increased our sales by 50%. And since then, we have expanded to Yelp and shipping our products, allowing us to hit 250 sales by the end of this year. Here are some of our current customers at their events. We have so many people that contact us for personalized treats. And especially at a time like this, people want to feel included and involved in designing their own dessert for their special party. So from customized flavors, packaging, to match their event, we aren't just your basic bakery, and we are the patisserie that you want at your next event. So at Sweets by Caroline, we are proud to be female owned, and being able to tailor macarons to your event is our competitive advantage. Places like Ladurée and Dana's Bakery don't create macarons to different characters and shapes, and that's where we come in. We also provide consulting to get you involved in the process of designing your desserts and creating affordable macarons that everyone can enjoy. Currently in the market, a box of dozen macarons costs about $30 to $40 from places like Ladurée, Olivia Macaron, and Dana's Bakery. However, at Sweets by Caroline, not only are we affordable, but we are also profitable. It only takes 4 ingredients to make a macaron: therefore allowing our cost margins to be very low, making over 80% in profit margins. Since starting out, Sweets by Caroline has grown immensely, and I've been able to generate these sales all on my own, marketing solely through social media and through my customers. We are projecting to make over $12,000 in revenue this year. So from expanding our menu and taking larger orders, we have been able to increase our revenue over 50% each year. So what's next for Sweets by Caroline? Because of the virus, we have adapted and started shipping out macarons so that everyone can enjoy our macarons from the comfort of their own home. Next month, we will be participating in the Crossroads Farmers Market located in Tacomas Park, Silver Spring, so you can find our macarons there. And we want to continue to share our macarons with partnering with privately owned coffee shops, wedding and event planners, and also expanding our menu and offering classes in the future so that everyone can learn how to bake. And speaking of baking, we are the bakers working behind the scenes to get these delicious treats out to you. I'm Caroline, the CEO, and my intern, Numra, has been helping me with fulfilling larger orders and helping increase our baking efficiency. She's also been working at the management and reporting and investment at Freddie Mac. So now you can head over to sweetsbycaroline.com and you can get your dessert sweet fix today. So now I just wanted to show you guys a few of my products. And usually at the end of the pitch, I have macaron samples for everyone to try, but unfortunately because we're online, I would just like to show you guys what I have. So we have, these are the box of dozen macarons, and then inside you have your flavors as well as a card sample where it shows all our macaron flavors. And then on the back, it talks about wholesale and how you can order customized macarons like these panda ones. And then we also offer macarons that come in a pack of 4. So you can find these at the farmer's market next month, as well as we will be selling boxes of dozens, and you can come by and choose different flavors, as well as ordering some to be shipped to your family members or friends. Currently, we ship out, and when you receive a box, there will be an ice pack inside so that the macarons are kept nice and fresh, and bubble wrap to keep it nice and secure. And now I want to talk about some things that I've learned from Terp Startup. So through Terp Startup, I've learned that I know that I'm not a morning person, but because we have to wake up every morning for a morning roll at 9 o'clock, I've kind of started to like waking up really early, going on walks or pacing around my room to kind of get my brain going. And we've also been learning how to juggle. So that has really been getting me up in the morning, and I found that I'm a lot more productive. Another thing that I've learned through Terp Startup is that planning is key, and especially because I bake a lot, I'm a big planner, and I need to plan throughout the week to make sure that I have all the ingredients and packaging ready for my big baking day. And throughout Terp Startup, we've had lots of Google Calendar events, so that has been keeping me up to date and keeping me on track with my daily routine and making sure I can check things off. And lastly, the biggest thing that I've learned through this program is that it's okay to ask for help. For a while, I feel like I've always felt that I had to do things on my own, and because I didn't want to feel like a burden for asking for help. And as a small business owner, you wear like 8 hats. You're baking, you're marketing your products, you're cleaning, you're baking, doing all these things. But I started realizing that people do want to help you, and that there are people there to support you, and they want to help you and see you succeed. So you'll be a lot more efficient in life and your business. So lastly, I want to thank Terp Startup for being amazing and allowing me to meet all these great entrepreneurs. They're so hardworking and driven, and that has motivated me every day to keep chasing my dreams. So yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Caroline. It's so glad to have you this summer. And I like Tricia. Actually, you know what, Tricia? I'm going to say in response to your chat that you should just come see her at the farmer's market. Everyone here should just come to the farmer's market and see Caroline there next month.
Yeah, it's in Tacoma Park, Silver Spring. It's called Crossroads Farmers Market. So I hope I can see all of you guys there. But yeah, thank you.
Awesome. All right, Viraj and Sanket.
All right.
It sounds like we have less echo in this room.
Less echo in this room? Amazing. All right, cool. All right. So if it's okay, we can just start over. Cool. All right. Fantastic. All right.
Hey everyone, my name is Sanket.
And I'm Viraj, and we are Team Vitalize. So I wanted to begin by sharing a story about Dr. Robertson, a past mentor of mine. After 12 years of training, he now works about 70 hours per week and suffers from stress, anxiety, and depersonalization, but he continues to push on. Why? Because that's the culture in medicine. He often has no time for wellness during the day in hospital and is hesitant to do this in the first place because of the stigma. And the scariest part is that Dr. Robertson isn't alone. In fact, 42% of clinicians in the United States report symptoms of burnout. And now with COVID, this has undoubtedly increased. This matters for healthcare organizations because burnout results in poor clinician productivity, increased risk of medical errors, poor patient care, and increased costs for hospitals.
Our solution, Vitalize, the first wellness app tailored to specific needs of clinicians. It's the solution that Dr. Robertson is looking for, and from our customer discovery of nearly 1 million clinicians, we know that countless other docs are too. Vitalize seamlessly integrates mindfulness and resilience modules into the busy schedules of clinicians through wellness microtasks that only take a brief 1 to 15 minutes. Also included is a reflection journal, which provides specific prompts designed to cultivate professional satisfaction and meaning in work.
With Vitalize, we're specifically targeting the market for self-care technologies for clinicians, which we estimate to be $620 million. To estimate the serviceable obtainable market, we use the total number of clinicians in the US each year and industry analysis surrounding willingness to pay for meditation apps. Currently, the mindfulness and meditation application market is experiencing a compounded annual growth rate of 40%. And while many of our competitors have included well-constructed mindfulness and resilience exercises, none have specifically tailored their solutions to clinicians. The success of our competitors relies on capturing a smaller percentage of a much larger audience, barring them from tailoring their content. So what does tailoring mean in the context of our technology?
Integrated into our mindfulness and resilience modules are 6 key themes that reflect the unique stressors faced by healthcare professionals. For example, based on the user-reported mood, the app may suggest a meditation track or reflection prompt focused on coping with the loss of a patient. Vitalize is the first intervention to offer these tailored activities digitally, giving clinicians these resources at their fingertips whenever they want, wherever they want.
Our revenue model is two-pronged. First, we will use a freemium model to convert individual app downloads into both monthly and annual subscriptions. Second, we will sell our software with an analytics dashboard to hospitals. Through this dashboard, we will allow healthcare administrators to access real-time and anonymous data on user wellness by department, app utility by department, and compliance. Vitalize provides cost savings, time savings, and widespread accessibility of wellness to hospitals. Vitalize will save hospitals money directly in 2 ways. First, we will save approximately $40,000 per year when directly comparing Vitalize to traditional in-person hospital wellness. Second, we will save hospitals approximately $7,600 per individual saved from burnout each year. Vitalize allows for wellness content to be integrated throughout a clinician's day, allowing them to maximize time for patient care without sacrificing time for wellness. And lastly, Vitalize will make hospitals a place where clinicians want to work, instead of making them burnout factories.
This summer, we have completed our MVP and are beginning 2 pilot tests. First, we will give our app to 60 clinicians for 2 weeks and collect user experience narratives. Next, we will conduct a clinical trial at the University of Maryland Medical Center to investigate the efficacy of our app at improving wellness and reducing burnout. We have already developed relationships with advisors at the hospital and submitted for research funding. The data collected from this trial will directly inform a second app iteration focused on personalized in-app mindfulness curriculums. In the winter of 2020, we'll begin focusing our efforts onto advertising. We will onboard our first social media associate and begin conducting SEO to tailor our initial marketing efforts. We will also launch a medical student brand ambassador program at 5 academic med centers to develop strategic entry points into hospitals. Lastly, we will obtain approval for Vitalize to award continuing medical education credit for app use, incentivizing individual downloads. We hope to secure contracts with 1 hospital in 2021, 10 in 2022, and 25 in 2023. We will attain these projections by building a robust sales team and securing contracts with entire hospital systems, in conjunction with our advertising strategies for individuals. As students interested in pursuing a career in medicine, Viraj and I will leverage our unique backgrounds in health informatics, behavioral science, scientific research, and clinical medicine to ensure the success of Vitalize.
With Vitalize, we hope to improve the lives of our healthcare heroes, especially in times like now in public health emergency, but most importantly, create a lasting paradigm change of wellness and healthcare. Thank you.
So that's our pitch. We would love to now share some things that we've learned through Terp Startup. So we actually started working on Vitalize in March. And over the last 4 months, Terp Startup has really helped us accelerate our progress. One of the first tasks we did during Terp Startup was set 5 attainable goals for the 8 weeks. Very simple. These goals, however, helped us stay on track and keep ourselves accountable, helping us realize the importance of setting such goals. In fact, we've already set another 5 SMART goals for the next 8 weeks to wrap up the summer. Another lesson we learned was that we all need to always be able to justify our assumptions. This required Viraj and I to really scrutinize our business plan and also anticipate potential concerns that would raise skepticism. This also really helped us to think more critically and avoid blind spots.
We also learned that what we believe in isn't necessarily what the customer believes. Sanketh and I are incredibly passionate about this project and about its potential impact on healthcare, but that doesn't necessarily translate to what the customer believes. So what Terp Startup really taught us is it's important to continuously do customer discovery so that not only can we achieve what we want, but achieve a really strong part of product market fit. We also learned that financial success and social impact are not mutually exclusive. So Sanketh and I have both come from very public health and research-driven backgrounds. Initially, when starting Vitalize, we were really gung-ho about achieving our social impact of changing the paradigm of wellness in medicine. But what we realized is by building a sound financial model, a sound revenue model, and a strong company supporting our idea, this financial success allows us to amplify our intended social impact. And lastly, we learned that even as entrepreneurs, work-life balance is crucial. During Terp Startup, Sanketh and I worked at our optimal hours of 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. quite often, and we learned that in the short term, while this was maybe helped us a little bit, in the long term, achieving a really strong work-life balance is crucial because taking a break can really make us more productive the next day.
And our honorary 6th lesson, juggling. We've learned that entrepreneurship is a juggling act and that we must be resilient and prepared with anything thrown our way. We like to think of the work we do with Vitalize in 3 different streams, or let's say balls. The first is development, which entails building the app and UX UI design. The second is the business side, which entails figuring out our sales and advertising strategies and financial models. And the third is the research and validation side, as it is important for us to pilot test with our target population and collect appropriate data. We need to be able to juggle between all 3 to stay on track towards commercialization and scaling.
So now we wanted to spend a little bit of time doing some brief demos of our analytics dashboard and our app. So I here have included an initial mock-up of what our administrator dashboard could look like. The point of this is to anonymously provide hospital administrators with real-time and granular data about app registration, app use throughout the day, which departments are using the app, which wellness activities are being completed, and being able to present this in a real-time and digestible format to potentially guide future quality improvement. So a key part of our go-to-market strategy is further improving this dashboard in terms of the quality of data we can report to administrators, the granularity of the data we report to our administrators, and making sure that we're all able to do this all in real time.
And here's a short demo of how a clinician would make a profile on our MVP. First, he would choose a specialty, which allows him to easily network with others. Then he is asked for his personal mission statement in medicine. His answer to this will be presented to him on the home screen every time he opens the app. One of the dimensions of burnout is a diminished sense of purpose. And with this reminder, we hope to restore some of the joy that comes with practicing medicine and reducing burnout. Then he will be able to choose which microtasks he prefers to practice. Here are some of the options that we've provided in our MVP, ranging from meditation to simply taking a short walk. Then he'll be able to choose when he wants to receive reflection prompting notifications. Through the app, the clinician will be nudged to take short mood boosting and positive psychology breaks during the workday. The app also has a photo gallery where users can upload photos of loved ones to accompany their wellness sessions, also feeding into the work-life balance. And finally, the user has the option between private and community mode. This caters to some people's preference to remain anonymous, while also catering to those who would like to share their wellness tips, stories, and challenges.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vitalize. I feel like this is when I should put in the small caveat that I may have been teaching them to juggle this summer as well as entrepreneurship. So with that, we've ended our presentations for this morning. So we'll break into breakout rooms for Q&A. If we have not tried this before, but hopefully this will work out all right. If you have provided your email in advance, it should automatically throw you into a room, but we'll see. So if you don't go anywhere, we'll handle it one by one. My sincere apologies that went way more. It was supposed to give you 30 seconds to leave, and for some reason it did not. Apologize for the really abrupt ending there.
I can follow up with you later, Amit. Thank you for your question, though.
Feel free to use the chat function to ask for people's contact information so you can follow up. Again, for those of you who are just now coming back in, it looks like everyone should be back, but I seem to be missing some people. There, okay, so both rooms are back. So sorry about that again for the abrupt thing. We'll have that fixed for the second round. So now we have a lunch break for about an hour. So we'll see you back here at 1 o'clock for those of you who can join us again for the afternoon session. Thanks so much, and great job to the Search 6 teams that have gone today. Hello, and welcome back to part 2 of Terp Startup Demo Day. So we'll go ahead and get rolling with the second round. If you weren't able to join us this morning, we're glad to have you this afternoon. So we kind of run through the schedule. We'll go with 6 presentations. Each team will have 10 minutes to present their pitch, something from their portfolio, and also the lessons they learned from the last 8 weeks of Terp Startup. After that, there will be no time for Q&A in between these pitches. We'll just kind of go through them one by one. After that, we'll break into breakout rooms for Q&A time. If you signed up in advance, hopefully this time you'll go straight into the room you're supposed to go to. We'll see. If nothing else, we'll figure it out when that time comes. So to get things started, and you're welcome to leave your video on so that you can smile and cheer and clap for people. Also, you can use the Zoom reactions buttons at the bottom of the screen. But we do ask that you stay muted through the presentations until we get into the Q&A sessions in the breakout rooms. And you can use the chat function also to say congrats and things like that. So let's get started. The first up on our docket is SoCo.
Hello, everybody. We're all good? So my name is Jacques Marais, and I am one of the co-founders of SoCo. During this presentation, I'm going to show you guys our product, as well as some of our strategy behind going to market. But primarily, I hope to change the way that you look at vegetable growth. So we've all been there, sitting on the couch, lounging around, sipping on a Slurpee or soda, maybe digging into that third bag of crisps. Today, feeling bloated, gross, desiring and craving for something fresh, healthy, and nutrient dense. It's time to grow up. It's time to grow your own greens. Did you know that 5 million US millennials follow this line of thinking and start growing home greens every year? It's almost a rite of passage into adulthood. And that's where our product comes in. We are an easy to use in-home garden. And the mechanics of the small unit, which you see on the wall, are linked to the large unit, but I'll have more to say on that later. We offer people the opportunity to be healthy, but not only healthy in the biological sense, actually getting the right nutrients, but healthy in the psychological sense by watching and engaging with your food as it grows. Also offer people the opportunity to stand out amongst their friends groups by standing up for their own well-being. This is our small unit. As mentioned earlier, it is linked to our large unit. This is our large unit. The mechanics of the small unit are similar to the mechanics of the large unit. I'll explain later how this fits into our go-to-market strategy via a Kickstarter. First things first, let's talk about our recurring revenue device, which is what we've called a seed podule. It's an A4 sized pad or tray that has enough seeds in it to grow ½ pound of greens. The customer will insert the seed podule, which will then make its way around the unit, dipping into a trough of water at the bottom. On the first day, there'll be 1 seed podule. On the second day, 2, third, 3, and so forth. Every day, the customer adds another seed podule, and the ones added earlier start to grow. Something really interesting happens on day 10, because every single vegetable, spinach, kale, all of them go through what we call the microgreen stage. Microgreens are when vegetables hit their nutritional peak, but often grocery stores can't sell microgreens because microgreens need to be eaten fresh. That's why our product enables people to consume the absolute prime version of vegetables fresh. The ideal use of our product is the consumer will, after 10 days of growth, eat the greens grown and then replace a seed podule into the empty slot. We understand that some consumers will actually want to wait a couple days until it reaches the baby vegetable stage, and that's fine, or maybe consume more at once and then replace the empty spot with more seed podules. Let's talk about the location. Some of you might be wondering, why is this mounted to my living room wall? That's because when we did empathy interviews on our previous prototypes, we found that customers don't want anything that goes and occupies more space in their kitchen. That's why we did something that nobody else has done before. We mounted our unit to the wall. Not only is it more space efficient, but it also acts as a wall art feature. Big hunger leads to big markets. Did you know that $6.1 billion is spent by Americans every year on home gardening, specifically consumables like vegetables? And those 5 million US millennials I mentioned earlier, well, they spend on average $400 a year on veggies. We've identified 145,000 of these millennials that make more than $100,000. They live in a city upon with limited space, which totals our obtainable market to 94 million. The first thing that should jump out at you when comparing our product with our competitors is the size. Not only is our unit bigger, but our yield is profoundly more than anybody else in the market. We also make the unit out of alloys, metal alloys that help in the health and growth of the seeds. And then our competitive pricing for the seed podule, 1 seed podule equals 1/2 pound of greens, is $2. That is competitive with grocery store prices, which means that you could be consuming greens sustainably from your in-home garden at a price that's similar to going to the store and buying it yourself. Also, our unit offers daily yield and production, where you can consume from it daily, whereas our competitors, you have to wait up to 30 days between cycles. When you take the quality material, the fast growth, the clever location, and you combo that with the recurring revenue and the premium pricing, you equal our company, which is SoCo. So why now? COVID-19 saw a 500% spike in the sale of seeds, primarily because people were starting to grow their own food at home. This is because people wanted to understand where was their food coming from and how many hands were touching it before you were consuming it. Nowadays, it's safer to grow your own food than it is to buy from a grocery store. The other thing is the general trends around microgreens. Microgreens as an industry selling to consumers and restaurants grows by 10% each year, and has been doing so for the last couple of years. More health professionals are recommending the consumption of microgreens because vegetables in that state are at their nutritional highest density. Here's our 5-year plan. We'll start off by small batch manufacturing the small unit, which is open source, to reach a target revenue of 30 to 50K. The next step is that by the end of next year, we want to use those funds to launch a Kickstarter that will reach 500 customers. And then by the end of 2025, we hope to have gathered the loyalty of 5,000 customers for total target revenue of 5 million. So who are we? Jordan Billingsley is an expert and has expertise in online retail and supply chain, primarily because he's run his own e-commerce business for the last 10 years. That business does a total of about 250,000 sales per year. I have expertise in hydroponics and horticulture and some operations from my time at Startup Show. We're both architecture grads, which means that we both have a keen sense and eye for design. That's my pitch complete. Let me talk about why I actually got started with this in the first place. When Jordan and I started down this route, we were actually trying to design a unit that would produce microgreens for us automatically so we could sell to restaurants. What we realized that when it comes to impact and actually empowering people, we would have a much larger reach if we sold the means instead of selling the greens. So instead of selling to restaurants, we started actually developing a prototype and putting together a business strategy along with the help from Lottie, Holly, and the team in Terp Startup to be able to take the larger unit to market. We want to empower people in communities that don't even have access to greens. And it might seem a little bit hypocritical that we're positioning our large unit to target high-income individuals. But the reason why the project is open source and even a version of the large unit will be open source is so that we can have a counterpart that will be more affordable, do a different sort of thing with yield. However, we'll still be able to empower anybody, even individuals in communities that don't see any sort of access to greens. The 5 things I learned from Terp Startup was, the first one was you have to fall in love with the problem. Solutions come and go, but the problem, that is where the value is and the pain points of the customers are. Founder after founder after founder gave us this advice. The next thing was mentors. Why try and solve a problem for the first time by yourself when you, via Dingman Center and Terp Startup, have access to a network of mentors that have solved these problems countless amounts of times? To accelerate growth, find good mentors and keep in touch with great people like the individuals over at Dingman. And this is a little bit counterintuitive because most individuals feel that entrepreneurship is all about risk. What's interesting is the feedback that we got from the founders and the experts in the field told us that the successful entrepreneurs are all about de-risking their business to ensure steady gains. The 4th thing, and I'm sure everybody in my cohort knows what this means, investors like being investors. 2 of the founders independently told us this sort of tidbit of advice, because a lot of times they said that they felt like they put a lot of effort into gaining the trust of an investor, and that you shouldn't lose hope if those investors turn around and don't actually fund. A lot of times part of the process is actually going down a lot of different leads without it actually ending up perfectly, but that's okay, it's part of the process. The 5th thing, the most important thing that I learned from Terp Startup is that you have to feature your failures. Time after time after time in office hours and in the talks, we learned from people that when they made failures, when they had failures, that was the mega opportunity for growth. And by featuring those failures in talks and engaging with mentors, engaging with the community, people can understand and see that those failures learn to building a real experience. And so feature them. They're a part of what makes you good. Thank you guys. And last one, learn to juggle. That's so cool.
Thanks so much, Jack. Great presentation. All right, next on the list is mod bars.
Raise your hand if you or someone close to you has a food allergy. Don't fret, you're not alone. In the last 20 years, the prevalence of food allergies has increased by 50%. Within that same time span, tuna and peanut allergies alone have more than tripled. And I am a contributing member to this statistic. After going into my 3rd anaphylactic shock, yes, my 3rd one, I decided enough was enough. So what did I do? First, let me take you back to high school. Being a student athlete with a severe tree nut allergy, it was harder for me to find a delicious, affordable, and high protein bar that didn't contain any tree nuts. Rather than giving up, I gathered up a well-rounded team and we made our own nut-free protein bar. We didn't stop there. What about those who have allergies beyond tree nuts? People who just choose to follow a specific diet. Thus, Moodboard was born. Moodboard is an affordable, filling, delicious snack bar company that caters to individuals' dietary restrictions or wants while maintaining the premium quality of a high-priced brand. We started out with 2 nut-free protein bars, chocolate and vanilla. As demand grew, so did our creativity. 2 Nutri-Mix bars, 1 fruit, 1 cinnamon, and finally, we came out with a s'mores dessert bar and a coffee energy bar. Currently, we're working toward making gluten-free flavors. While we have our own product line, we've made vegan versions of our existing flavors, as requested by some of our recurring customers. In the future, we plan on implementing complete customization. I'll now pass it on to Joseph to talk about the snack bar market.
Thanks, Jeff. This is what the current snack bar market looks like. After analyzing our potential market, we decided to cater towards members of Gen Z with dietary restrictions, who lead an active and health-conscious lifestyle. As Max will expand upon later, this is our current strategy, but we understand that our potential market is wider than just Gen Z. With the snack bar industry being a heavily populated and crowded space, you may be asking yourself, why now? Why start a business when there are already so many other snack bar brands already out there? Well, here's why. Like Jeff said, food allergies are increasing. Consumers are caring more and more about what's going into their food, and when we surveyed our consumer base, the majority of people answered yes to a question asking if they cared about what was going into their food nutritionally. Additionally, customization is on the rise, with places such as Chipotle, Subway, and other customizable food restaurants becoming continually and increasingly popular. It is no surprise that 80.3% of consumers that we surveyed answered yes to wanting customization in their snack bars. Especially during this current pandemic, college students, our target market, are concerned with the price of their food above almost any other factor. Finally, people are seeking entertainment through their phones now more than ever, given the current climate. I can't tell you how many hours I've spent looking at dumb memes or watching stupid YouTube videos during this quarantine. Our brand is focused on providing more than just a snack. We want to entertain our customers through social media content that is funny, relatable, and engaging to our consumer base. Here we have a lineup of our chocolate protein bar compared to relevant competitors. In terms of nutrition and price, we stack up against the competition. We beat the popular snack bar brands in terms of sugar, protein, and fiber, and we have the lowest price per ounce of any bar in our comparable market. The fact is, in the market of high protein, nutrition-focused bars, we are right there with our largest competition. I'll now pass it off to Max, where he will explain our business model.
Thank you, Joe. We've mainly sold in 2 different bar forms, individual bars at $2 a piece and a 12 bar for $20 bulk option. And as you can see here on these graphics, our gross profit margins show scalability in the long term. Moving on to our financial models, here's what we've done so far. In 2017, we continued tweaking our recipes as we sold to fellow high school students. In 2018, we moved into a commercial kitchen and purchased insurance, giving us more overhead. In 2019, we finally turned a sizable profit, selling 2,500 bars through hand-to-hand selling at College Park and retail at our local swimming club snack bar. We continued this momentum into 2020 with the launch of our website, but we had to shut down in March due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now here's what we project. Although we will hit the ground running in September, we do not expect to make up all of our costs from our hiatus by the end of the year. In each of the next 2 years, however, we expect to double our sales from our 2019 mark of 2,500 bars, following a trend similar to what we've experienced thus far. We plan to do this through an intensive social media campaign, more professional and visually appealing packaging, and added distribution channels such as farmers markets. We will also build a stronger foothold in the UMD Greek life community, which Wyatt will talk about more later. Finally, a little bit about us. Our team is composed of 5 former student athletes now spread across 3 universities. With his severe tree nut allergy, Jeff Su, our CEO, is the visionary behind this company. I am the COO and have experience working in food prep at the campus kitchen at Washington University in St. Louis, as well as the World Central Kitchen in DC. Nate Stevens, our CFO, manages our budget and financial models. Wyatt Talcott, our CMO, uses his artistic and video editing skills to manage our social media and optimize our outreach strategy. And finally, Joseph Olenek, our CTO, has software development experience from his previous startup. I will now pass it off to Wyatt, who will reflect on this past summer and look forward to the coming months.
Thank you, Max. Terp Startup has provided us a great opportunity to not only grow our business, but also look inwards and learn a bit about ourselves as entrepreneurs. Perhaps the number one thing that we've learned is that we do indeed enjoy what we do. We can work efficiently from 9 to 5. We can have fun doing so. And based on the input we've received along the way from people both within and beyond our field, it seems that we are on the right track. Number 2, social media is a science and not to be overlooked or underestimated. Across only 6 platforms, every algorithm is different, requiring a concerted and intentional effort on each in order to see any meaningful gains. Now, while we have been in production for some time, it's increasingly clear to us that market research and financial forecasting are 2 crucial elements to starting a business that, in all honesty, we've overlooked until recently. Now, after sending out a lengthy consumer survey and constructing a detailed financial model, we feel much more knowledgeable about our business. Another valuable lesson is that our titles and roles are very much subject to change as we grow the business. As founders, we need to do what's in the best interest of the company, which means being versatile and not getting attached to our current roles. Lastly, a great revelation we've made over the years is the sheer difficulty of scaling organically, that is, without much expendable capital. Finally, thanks to the grant provided by Terp Startup, which is really the first amount of seed money we've received, we now have a much larger financial pool to work with, which has helped us considerably in only a few short weeks. Now, here's a quick look at some of our satisfied customers and what they have to say about our product. As you can see here, we've both sold to and followed up with different demographics and age groups, and have gotten good reception from all of them. For example, Andrea here is a local swim mom, and she's even in the audience, I believe. Both Helen and Luke are college students, each of whom belong to their own clubs and organizations on campus. And again, these are just a few of many examples. Now, looking to the immediate future, we want to do more to accelerate our growth on college campuses in particular. So to start, we're looking forward to introducing a new Maryland-themed bar with a current title of Terrapin Tracks. On top of this, we want to allow a variety pack option on our website, where you can order a smaller, more diverse group of flavors, as well as a subscription service that will provide bars at a regular rate, either daily or weekly, and a care package system aimed at parents who want to make sure their kids are fed the best. Finally, here's a look at what you can find on our social media. You can follow us at Moodboard to see more. And with that, we very much look forward to your questions. Thank you all for listening.
Nicely done, Moodboard. Thank you for your presentation. Next, we'll move on to Blimp Logistics.
Hi, everyone. My name is Camilo Melnick, and I'm the founder and CEO of Blimp Logistics. Our goal is to provide fast and inexpensive delivery services for any business. So what's the problem we're trying to solve? Well, e-commerce is growing. It's projected to be 14% of the US retail market by 2022, and customers have grown accustomed to 2-day delivery, often preferring same-day delivery. Small businesses need to compete, but they don't have access to the logistics networks that large corporations do. So many are turning to delivery providers like Uber Eats and DoorDash to help them compete, but they cut into their bottom line, and they're incredibly expensive to operate. Outside of cities, delivery services don't make sense. The labor costs associated with them are prohibitive, making it difficult to find viable approaches to delivery that are on par with the options found in cities. So why act now? Well, COVID-19 changed how we shop. Customers are more reluctant to shop in person, and they want more options for contactless delivery. Cities like New York, San Francisco, Seattle, and Washington, D.C. have all imposed caps on commissions that delivery providers are allowed to take, lowering them from as high as 40% of order totals to between 10 and 15%. These commission levels are untenable for delivery providers, and many of them have resorted to passing the costs directly to consumers in extra fees. Our competitors have also spent the past few years lobbying the FAA and have defined a pathway to achieving FAA approval to conduct drone delivery operations. The solution is automation. Drones are faster and less expensive. There's no gas to buy, no drivers to pay, no traffic to sit in, and no roads to follow. They're easy to scale. Just deploy more of them where you need more capacity or coverage. And they're cost effective for businesses and their customers. Customers pay smaller delivery fees, they don't need to tip the drone, and businesses don't need to pay up to 40% commission. So our product is the Blunt Logistics Network. It's a network of automated hubs and autonomous drones that work together to pick up and drop off packages. The first component of that network is our autonomous drones. Our autonomous drones are dispatched either in flight or from their hubs to the business. They then pick up the product, fly to a customer's house and deliver it, and they return to a hub or are dispatched to another pickup, all without ever touching the ground. Our automated hubs are the second component. They're where our drones live. They protect them from the elements and they exchange flight batteries to extend their range. The hubs are built inside 20-foot-long shipping containers and can house and support 2 delivery drones. Hubs can be deployed in hours without the need for special equipment. The third component is our app, website, and checkout integration. Customers can place and manage their orders through our app or website, or they can order directly from a business's website with a checkout option similar to Checkout by PayPal. Our hubs are financially sound. At a quarter capacity, hubs pay for themselves in 1 year, generating over $58,000 a year in revenue. That's delivering 4 packages an hour. At full capacity, they pay for themselves within 3 months, generating over $233,000 a year in revenue, and that's delivering 16 packages an hour. And these numbers are conservative. They're calculated with hubs only operating 8 hours a day and charging customers $3 per delivery. So how big is our market? Our initial target market is Maryland, and the average retail trade business processes 22 transactions a day. If we capture 5% of these transactions, in Maryland, our SOM is $36.5 million. Our SAM and TAM of $750 million and $2.15 billion were calculated by scaling from Maryland to the East Coast and then to the United States. And this is all still capturing 5% of retail trade transactions. So who's our competition? Well, the drone delivery space is brand new. We have a number of competitors, but no one has a foothold in the market yet. We're the only ones pursuing a solution with vertical takeoff and landing capability, efficient fixed-wing flight, automated battery exchange, and a large payload capacity. We're aiming to carry up to 30 pounds, when all our competitors are in the 5-pound range. However, our competitors have all been at this for longer. They have quite a head start, but we think that our approach and technology will give us the edge that we need. We have a 2-part monetization strategy. The first part is usage-based. We take between 5 and 10% of the order total from the business. The second part is a one-time fee. We charge the end customer $3 per order they place. Our target customers are businesses that sign up to deliver their products via Blimp. However, once their customers sign up to the service, we can push them to order from other businesses on our network, making them repeat customers. So far, our progress has involved a new venture practicum course, Terp startup, and a prototype of the automated hub that includes battery exchange and precision landing capabilities. We'll be done with this prototype around the end of August. We have an aggressive go-to-market strategy. We aim to spend 2021 and 2022 performing design, engineering, testing, closing out 2022 with 1 functional hub and aircraft performing real deliveries. In 2023, we'd like to enter the market, deploying between 3 and 5 hubs to a small starting area, like Bowie, pictured here. By the beginning of 2024, it will be time to scale and deploy between 15 to 20 hubs around our starting area. Here's a 4-year revenue projection based on the aggressive go-to-market strategy shown in the previous slide, deploying 1 hub in 2022, 3 hubs in 2023, and 15 hubs in 2024. Hubs are deployed initially with 1 drone and are later upgraded based on demand to 2 drones. This is the team. First up is myself. I have 7 years experience building and flying drones, and I'm an undergraduate researcher in the Unmanned Vehicles Research Lab at UMD. Next up is Spencer Yakulak. She's a mechanical engineering undergraduate with over 8 years of experience in robotics and mechanical design. She's worked on emerging medical technology at Sensonics Inc. and Armor Systems Inc., and she's also worked at the Glen Alma Martin Wind Tunnel on test equipment digitization. Last, but certainly not least, is Alice Fox. Alice Fox is an aerospace engineering undergraduate at UMD and an experienced UAV test pilot and aircraft designer, with hundreds of hours building, flying, and testing large experimental autonomous systems. She's also worked in NASA instrumentation laboratories, developing and manufacturing spaceflight hardware, and co-led UMD's wind turbine engineering competition team. So, what lessons did I learn this summer during Terp Startup? Well, the first one is set your goals and then keep track of them. Use software, to-do lists, whatever works for you, because the deadlines fly by way faster than you think. Second lesson is your team is everything. There's only so far that you can go alone, and you need to find team members that complement your skill sets. I definitely wouldn't have gotten nearly as much done this summer if it wasn't for my teammates Spencer and Alice. Third is figure out how to balance your time. Balancing your time when you work at a startup is crucial to remaining sane. Without a proper work-life balance, the startup gets old fast. The fourth one is that financials are amazing. Putting numbers down make marketing and engineering make sense. We used the number targets that we did with revenue projections to help dictate what we could not do with our hubs and drones and the design choices that we had to make. And the final lesson is find a community of entrepreneurs. Being around people all working on their own passions is an incredible source of motivation. It makes entrepreneurship fun and it keeps it from being draining. So now I'd like to show you some of the work that we did this summer on our prototypes. The first one is our automated hub. So we started with our design in CAD, and by this point in the summer, we have a functional automated hub. The gantry moves around and it's capable of moving objects from the landing zone on the top to a storage area on the end. And this is our precision landing beacon. It tells the drone what exact position to land in, position-wise and also orientation-wise, so that it lands in the correct position so that the hub can take the battery out. We wanted to have a flight demo today, but unfortunately we broke some parts during testing, so that'll have to get pushed back a little bit. And then while we were prototyping the automated hub, we were also designing the full-scale aircraft and doing calculations on the aerodynamics and the range and the battery requirements. So this is a CAD model of our full-scale aircraft. Our calculated range is 56 miles, and that's with reserving half the battery for vertical takeoff and landing operations. Our cruise speed is 57 miles per hour. Our payload capacity is 30 pounds, and our maximum takeoff weight with the full payload, battery, and the craft is 117.5 pounds. So this is what we're working on next. We're gonna start with a scale model of this to figure out the handling and the aerodynamics, although aerodynamics don't scale that well. And then we're gonna go from there. So thank you very much for your time. If you'd like to get in touch with me, this is my email, and thanks for coming.
Thank you, Camille. Just leave it up for a second longer. So in case anybody's trying to jot it down or take a photo, they can do so. All right, thanks so much. Great presentation. Next up, we have the Sustainable Socialite. Go ahead, Sarah.
Hi, my name is Sarah Lader, and I am the founder of the Sustainable Socialite. Did you know that one garbage truck full of textiles is incinerated or thrown into landfills every second? That means since this presentation has begun, 15 truckfuls of clothing have been destroyed. Now keep in mind that producing one pair of jeans uses 1,800 gallons of water. What if we gave life back to these pieces instead of hurting our world with them? Fashion and sustainability can coexist, and here's how. The Sustainable Socialite curates bold, quality, pre-loved fashion to sell at an affordable price. We feature a small hand-picked selection of secondhand clothing items with a variety of sizes and styles on our website, which is updated weekly. So you may be wondering if shopping secondhand is just a trend. Well, studies have shown that 1 out of 3 Gen Zers prefer shopping secondhand to taking part in fast fashion practices, which means that 667 million people just in that generation are looking for eco-friendly ways to shop. The secondhand market is also growing at about 25 times the rate of the broader retail market, and these numbers are continuing to grow at appalling rates. Lastly, shopping secondhand has gotten the official celebrity endorsement. Famous names such as Zooey Deschanel, Jada Pinkett Smith, and Drew Barrymore have been seen wearing pre-loved fashion at important events such as the red carpet. Now, retail is one of the largest consumer markets we see in daily life, valued at $368 billion. Resale is a newly growing subsection of retail and has already hit a $7 billion market value. As you can see here, resale has a 39% compound annual growth, meaning that the market is surging and set to be worth $36 billion by 2024, which big companies are taking note of. Companies such as Nordstrom have started secondhand programs buying and reselling used clothing just as we do. However, buying from them still benefits brands that take part in harmful practices due to fast fashion industry. Other companies such as ThredUp are great in theory due to their subscription base, but their lack of personalization leads to a lack of inclusion and thoughtfulness that you will always get with us. So you may be wondering, if we're paying for each of our products, how do we make a profit? Well, people aren't just paying for pieces of clothing. People are paying for time spent to curate hand-picked, unique items, along with a finder's fee of around 3 times the price of purchase for genuine vintage. This is still an affordable option for most people, as our prices are never over $50 and generally average $40. So at $40 an item, and currently selling about 2 items per week, we are set to make about $4,240 by the end of our first year. Consumer trends on our website show that we are likely to double our profits within the next year. And by year 3, we're hoping to invest in a mobile boutique, allowing us to travel college to college and sell in person. At past in-person events, we have sold about 10 items on average, meaning that we will develop more traction, and we believe that the strong customer base will allow this to be an extremely profitable business. While the world is changing, so are views on fashion. You see petite girls wearing men's extra large shirts, or men who feel beautiful in dresses. We want to make our customers feel confident and supported. So while we do have sizes, while clothing may contain gendered connotations, we will not be bound by the rules of society. This is a place for the big, the small, the androgynous, and the non-binary. Those who are experimenting with fashion and those who are confident in what they already love. Items in person and on our website are only sorted by type, such as shirt, dresses, etc., rather than size or gender, allowing flexibility in your shopping. Being inclusive also involves being socially aware. So we have taken the initiative to show support for those in our community fighting against systematic oppression. We sort local donations into selling versus donating, and anything sold benefits the NAACP's Legal Defense and Educational Fund. This program has already started to receive traction, as we have at least 50 bags of donated clothes that we are in the middle of going through. Lastly, my name is Sarah Lader. I started this journey by managing a vintage secondhand store in Israel for 6 months, and I fell in love with the idea of accessible, unique fashion. So right now, it's a one-woman show. However, we have 3 internship interviews tomorrow to bring on passionate creatives who want to volunteer their time to help, along with social media influencers who are volunteering their time and their talents to help our brand grow. Thank you very much, and I would love to tell you what I have learned in this amazing summer program now. I learned a lot of really incredible things this summer, but the biggest one had to be teamwork. There is power in co-working. Not just working in the same space, as we weren't able to do that this summer, but also feeding off of each other's passions, ideas, and spirit. The people in my cohort inspired me to chase my wildest dreams, but also helped me set a realistic plan for doing so. Second, I learned time management. My mentor taught me to guard my time, that though I may want to volunteer myself to help everyone with everything, I don't have that bandwidth, and now I understand that about myself. So when I set time aside to do things for my mental health, I do them now. And that has helped me decrease burnout and make time for my business. Third, flexibility. I learned just how flexible I was with this COVID crisis. I was really worried that I wouldn't have the motivation to be working on my business from 9 to 5 on Zoom every day, but I was more productive than I ever thought I would be. I started a website, I got my LLC, I doubled my customer numbers. It's been a really amazing summer in terms of what I've achieved, despite all of the difficulties that have come up. The fourth thing I learned was how to find my market. I learned that I can't just assume what people want, that I have to get out there and do research on it. I found statistics on my business through similar businesses, and it helped me target age groups and easily acquire customers that are looking for brands just as mine. Last, confidence. Friends and family, have always been supportive, but I've always seen this as, what if I'm not good enough? What if it doesn't work? But seeing the people around me, back to co-working, achieve and be confident in their own goals and, lift me up has really made me see myself in a new light, and my business can succeed. And I truly believe that now. So that was a big thing for me in this. Now I am going to share a different screen with you. For my demo, I'd like to show you my brand new website. It does have a logo by another student entrepreneur, and I am extremely proud of this. As you can see, these are my pieces that I was showing, but they actually sold out yesterday, so I wasn't ready to update it in time for this pitch. On the bright side, that shows that we have customers. And if you click Shop Now, it's really easy to look through our items. Now we have a very similar flat light for all of our items to make it sort of easy to compare and contrast them. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen and just show you. This is where all the magic happens. This is about 1/8 of my inventory. And here I actually have some flat lays I've been working on. And so I thought it was important to show sort of, the process, because I think that the process is just as important as the end result. So thank you for taking the time to listen to my pitch. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you shop with us in the future.
Nicely done. Thank you, Sarah. That's great when we get to see where the magic happens. All right, next up, we've got Chris & Co. Beauty.
Hello, everybody. My name is Crystal Pinkney, and as the CEO and founder of Chris & Co. Beauty, I have designed a beauty cosmetic line to service and provide premium quality lashes locally and nationally. The eyelash extension market has been witnessing a very high demand and has grown to be about 1.1 billion and is projected to grow about 5% each year. The market has basically doubled in just 4 years. Women want accessories that can accommodate to their looks that are affordable and lasting, and I have stepped in to provide that. Lashes make individuals feel beautiful, and I strive to make women feel confident in who they are, and people who want to look great without a lot of makeup can wear them casually. When it came to designing Chris & Co., I decided to put inspiring people and creating confidence in who they are at the forefront of my brand. False eyelashes add shape and volume to the eyes and help with lashes that may be too thin or short. We pride ourselves on focusing on our customers. From quality customer service to affordable prices, customer satisfaction is our top priority. Through proper trainings and certifications, our lashes can last up to 2 to 3 weeks with proper care and maintenance. A lot of you guys may wonder why now would be the perfect time to launch such a business like this. And as previously stated, the eyelash market is growing and continues to grow tremendously. Women want to enhance their natural looks, and eyelashes have become a part of the normal routine. Now more than ever, women truly love the effect that eyelashes provide and really can't go without them. Many women want this service, and I have reviewed the market to be able to service customers in a new and innovative way. Whether it's going out or staying in, there are wide ranges of styles and looks that we can provide, and we feature over 15 styles to choose from. Moving on to my next slide, I will break down my market size. 1.1 billion being the overall attainable market, 115 million being my TAM, who are individuals who shop for online lashes and what I can make from online sales alone. And finally, my SOM of 3.9 million just from servicing women ages 18 to 24 in the DMV alone from individual eyelash sets. Women can go directly on my site to choose from classic, hybrid, or volume sets. Classic being a more natural look, hybrid being a mix of individual and fanning lashes, and volume being overall in the name, volume. Individual eyelash appointments average about $60 an appointment, and servicing is done every 2 to 3 weeks for each client. Lash strips cost about $3 to $5 to produce and are on the market for about $10 to $15 depending on the style and the design of them. Despite the pandemic, with my launching my recent launch in June, my launch has become very successful, and I'm proud to say that my recent launch, I have totaled about $800 in revenue, which is continuing to grow. Knowing that this is just the beginning, my business is projected to grow tremendously. And throughout the 3 years, my future plans include expanding to my own studio to continue servicing, adding new products and having a greater online service, and also being able to help others who want to launch their own lash training business through lash services and training. As we all know, the beauty industry and market is very competitive. My competitors have been known to provide expensive prices for basic services, and they have brought the market to what it is. But I would like to take these services to the next level. And I would also like to pride myself in remaining innovative to bring forth new styles and products. And during these times, I have decided to launch colored lashes, which is a new way that individuals can express themselves in more creative ways. Now to discuss myself as the founder. My mother always being in the beauty industry, I have prided myself and found an interest in servicing all individuals to look and feel beautiful. From my reviews and testimonials, customers have been satisfied with the services that I'm able to provide, and I've had about an 80% customer return. Now, I would like to go into what I have learned through Terp Startup. Through these 8 weeks of workshops and seminars, I've learned a lot about myself as an entrepreneur and about my business. I've learned how to manage my finances, market services, work with my startup coach to plan for the future, and understand better ways to generate revenue. Learning a lot about myself, I understand that I did need to be more coachable and work on my brand a lot more, especially on social media and branding, and also determining my target audience and how to grow my business. Now, I would like to show you guys, I know that there were pictures throughout the slides, but with my new branding and things, I wanted to show you guys some of my lashes, as well as my colored sets, which I have named Daring and Bold, because I really want women to feel confident in how they choose to express themselves and whatever it is that they want to create and do. So here are some of my colors and schemes. And
Hey, Crystal, can you hold them up a little bit closer to the camera?
Oh, yes.
And then hold them a little bit longer there so we can really see them.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Thanks.
So here are some of the colored sets. So we have pink and a different variety. And then I have my just more natural sets, more natural looking for regulars. So yes, I would like to thank you guys for listening, and that is the conclusion of my presentation.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Crystal. Nicely done. And with that, we shall go to the last but certainly not least, Morning Light Esports. Close us out.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming this afternoon. My name is Harrison Gray Burke, and I run Morning Light Esports. If you're not familiar with what an esports organization does, we do everything your favorite traditional sports organization does, except in the competitive video game scene. Whoops. This right here is an example of a live event of the professional Overwatch scene. Just like in traditional sports, all of our teams will be going to online and in-person events, and these crowds get just as rowdy as any football game you've ever been to. However, there is one prevailing problem in the American esports scene right now, and that is toxicity. Right now, in the United States, esports is a young adult and teen white boys club, and that makes it very difficult for people in the LGBT community, women, and people of color to enter this scene without being harassed. A specific example I want to talk about is the example of Maria Ramilia. Maria was a trans woman and the first woman ever to make it to the professional scene of a game called League of Legends. However, in the middle of her very first season, the online harassment was so much that she decided to step down. And even though she stepped down, the harassment didn't stop. And 3 years later, at the age of 24, she took her own life. The examples you see on screen right here are people denying that she was a woman even after it was announced she was passed. That's why Morning Light Esports is dedicated to changing the toxic culture of esports and competitive gaming, and specifically hiring people in the LGBT community, women and people of color, as our staff and as our competitors and content creators, so they have a more active participation in the scene and making sure everybody is working together to shine together. But how does it work? The way our business works is with our initial budget, we recruit teams, capture their following on our social media, and then with those metrics, reach out to sponsors.
It looks like we may have lost Harrison's internet connection momentarily.
Am I in?
There you are.
Welcome back, Harrison.
I can't hear any of you.
Can hear us? We can hear
All
you.
right. Can someone give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Because I can't hear you guys. Okay, great. I'm going to share. Okay, so as I was saying, guys, the way that our business works right now is with our initial budget, we're going to recruit teams, use their online presence to capture their following on social media, reach out to sponsors with those metrics, and then it becomes a cycle where we recruit more teams and scale that way. As we scale, more of our secondary revenue drivers outside of sponsorships will come. The more views we have, the more ad revenue and merch sales we're going to assume we're going to get. And the more teams we have, our prize pool winnings will also increase. I set up a little timeline to tell you guys about what I've been doing and what we're going to do. May was all about launching and partnering with 2 companies that are going to save us money on servers and through our merch store. June and July have been all about recruitment. We've successfully signed a Valorant, Team Fortress 2, Rocket League, and Counter-Strike team. August and September will all be about gaining our audience through focused giveaways within these 4 communities and targeted Twitter ads within our demographics. October and November are going to be all about reaching out to sponsors, specifically tech in October and food and drink in November. Here are our rough revenue projections. Gaining $2,500 worth of recruiting revenue from sponsorships for our first year is going to allow us to scale at a very quick rate, hopefully increasing our revenue 50% each year and bringing on those secondary revenue drivers around year 2 and year 3. For our market, our TAM is people interested in FPS games, which is about 100 million according to Statista. Our SAM, to narrow that down, is people interested in those FPS first-person shooter games in America. And our SOM is specifically people interested in the 4 games I mentioned to you guys earlier. Assuming each one of our followers is 30 cents worth, that leaves $1.5 million on the table for us. To talk a little bit about our competition, I've picked 3 different orgs of varying sizes. 100 Thieves being a top-tier org, Demise being quite larger than us, and Polar Ace being comparable. The difference between us and them is we're the only org that is inclusivity focused, we're the only one with a vintage aesthetic, and we're the only one with LGBT owners. While 100 Thieves is publicly philanthropic, we are donating 1% of all revenue to Camp One Step to help kids with cancer have a normal childlike experience at camp. To talk a little bit about myself, my name is Harrison Gray Burke. I've been competing in a game called Team Fortress 2 for the last 7 years, and I also player managed a team for an org called Omni 5. I went on then to coach Team Fortress 2 and be the head of community outreach at a company called The Game Gym, and I have co-owned another org called Faint Gaming since December of 2018. That is the end of my presentation for you guys, but I wanted to give you a little bit of demo. This right here is our advertisement for our merch store. On it, you can see our pro hoodie, our pro jersey that all of our players will be wearing to all in-person events, and just a little logo tee, or just a little text tee on there. I was gonna have the jersey here for you guys today, but unfortunately, FedEx sent it back to China, which was unfortunate. I really wanted to have that, guys. But you'll just have to deal with just seeing the image for now. And I also wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about what I've learned in this process of being here for these past 8 weeks. I'm incredibly grateful to have been here. And the number one thing I can say that I've learned is perseverance is the biggest thing that differentiates making it happen and not making it happen. All of esports, it happens at night So to get up at 8:30 a.m., do cohort all day, and then have to start work at about 5 p.m. all the way till 1 a.m. made me really appreciate how much I can do as a person. I also wanted to say the biggest thing that I've learned outside of myself is that I can't do it all alone. And I wanted to pay a special thanks to Harry Alford, my coach that was given to me, for helping me so much throughout this entire process. And I'm just so grateful for all you guys here listening to me pitch today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Harrison. Very nice job. Also good hustle there on the end. Glad you got back and were able to join us. Can you hear us? Cool, good. All right, so with that, we have finished the presentation portion of the Terp Startup Demo Day. We'll move back into Q&A rooms. It looks like it has worked better this time, so I look forward to it actually working, more or less. There will be a few of you that are still left in here, and I will, once the rooms are open, I'll go ahead and let you, ask where you want to go. It looks like we'll have about 7 minutes per team, so you'll have plenty of time to ask your questions for each team. Right, enjoy your questions. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming today and participating, for asking your questions, presenters for doing your amazing pitches. You guys have come so far in 8 weeks, and we're very, very proud of you. So we'll see you at the debrief, and everyone else, we'll see you around or on Zoom. Feel free, if you did not get someone's contact information that you would like to have, feel free to email me or Holly or Sarah, and we will connect you to them.
Lottie, just a moment. I'm going to take the floor.
Yeah, go ahead.
Lottie, beautifully done this summer. We did not know what we were going to be doing in May when COVID happened with this summer program, and you worked with Sarah to put together a beautiful curriculum, a smart curriculum. So job well done to you, Lottie, for leading these students this summer. That's all from me.
Thank you.
Well, thanks to Sarah and Holly for helping us put it together. So, and when I had crazy ideas like, oh yeah, I'm gonna juggle in the morning, is that okay? And you guys were like, okay.
Love it, love it. Nice job.
Thank you so much. All right, y'all. So have a great, excellent rest of your day. And Terp Startup, I will see you back in our usual General Assembly Zoom.